All right. Hey, everybody. J-Man here. We're just waiting for some of so guys to come on in. For some of All right. We're going to be talking some WandaVision today on the Danger Room. All right. Let's get Steven in here.
Whoa.
Hey.
Hey. That's a wide lens, man.
What's that?
This is wider than I'm used to. I'm used to it being like narrower.
Well, we've upped the budget here on the J-Man channel. So it's like this is yeah, so that's that. Okay, so we're just waiting for Sean to pop in and we can start doing some WandaVision talk. And then I'm going to oh, Sean's coming in. Let's add him in here. Hello.
Oh wow.
What?
Can
That's
you hear me,
clearest
Sean?
I've seen you in like months now.
The beard is like going out of control.
Children can hang off it now.
Yeah. So this is gonna be live. So we're gonna try not to say anything to offend any of the any people out there.
That's a tall order, man. I don't know.
I'm gonna test. We'll just start. We'll talk in a second. I'm just gonna do some comments, some test comments, and see if I got all that good. All right. So I'm not. Oh, let me go to comments. So I'm not seeing anything in the chat here. So how do I go to? Did you guys see any
No
comments? No.
Yeah. Okay. Guess.
Like, are you typing stuff in?
Yeah, I'm just typing stuff in to see what's going on. I mean, I've got it on my iPad here, so I can see myself.
I see test comments and comments.
Yeah.
That's on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was on. The default is private chat, so you're not gonna see anything there.
Oh, so I got to get out of private chat.
And so it's like comments is the next thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I am on comments. Okay, no, I am. Okay, there's just a delay.
Oh yeah.
So now I can go like this, and then we can see the comment.
Ooh. So if I typed a private chat like "hello,"
so private chat's just for us. So
it's
do
just
private
you
chat,
guys, right?
And then that's just us. I see that.
All right.
Okay, that's good. So comments, and then we're back. And then okay, so Sean, go on YouTube and do a comment.
Go on YouTube and do a comment.
Yeah, so test comment is up there, and then I can hide it again. Right? So you see how that happened?
Yeah.
Now this is the chat. So let's see what the chat is like here. That's chat comment. Yep.
Okay.
Hey Andrew, what's going on? I'm gonna post the link in here in a minute.
What's up?
Let me get a link here. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to copy the link, and then I can let other people come in. So boom. So now once I put this on, other people can join us. So Andrew, he's a guy I talk with a lot on the Truth 31. Remember Truth?
Yeah.
We did. Yeah. And then J.O., you remember that, right? Remember J.O. Steve? We talked Hulk, some Hulk stuff with him. So these guys are all pretty good. They all come on like basically like I hit up the Truth's live stream every so often, just to talk comics and stuff. He does all the DC. He covers everything DC. So he's like heavy into that. He basically covers he live streams every 5 minutes. There's probably a live stream going on right now. So Andrew's gonna be like in and out. If there's I'm gonna check right now if there's a live stream going on with the Truth. I guarantee you there is because he does it every minute. Oh my God, he's streaming right now. We should let me see. We should go on. Yeah, and Andrew's on both of ours. That is too funny. We should try to link up. I should post my. I wonder if we could break the internet. I'll post my link in his live stream, and we'll have we can have his live stream in our window.
Our live stream.
Yeah, that would be so funny. That would be absolutely hilarious. So what's he talking about? He is talking about why you're wrong about Man of Steel. Well, I'm not wrong about it, so
we're still on about Man of Steel. Like, how old is this movie now?
Specifically, why Sean is wrong about Man of Steel?
We have to keep.
I'm right about Man of Steel.
Listen, Man of Steel. Listen. It's never gonna die. We have to continue. We have to continue on that
until they make the next Superman movie.
Until they make the next Superman movie. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I could delete my comments.
So you made comments through YouTube? Because I don't see a window for me to make a comment.
I see the comments.
You can comment through the regular chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I can't make a comment through this thing, but I can through private chat on this thing. I have to go into YouTube, but when I do that, I have to mute it because there's a delay.
Yeah,
it really messes me up.
Make sure you're muted on YouTube or whatever.
On YouTube, yeah.
It'll get really messed up. So literally the link that I sent you guys is the link that I've now posted in chat. So I have my chat on the side here, so I can go from private chat to the YouTube chat, and then I can post the link. So once I post the link, anyone can join in just how you guys joined in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's really good. Now I don't know if this actually records or not. This may not record, which means that we will lose this. Like, it's just us talking. But so I just got a private chat. Is that one of you guys? Okay, that's just one of you guys. Okay. So I'm back to comments. And see, I can highlight comments. So see, like Andrew said, "Hey, J-Man," and boom, I can put him up on the screen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I can take him back and put us back to normal.
Yeah, see, after this, if it recorded the entire session,
it records. If you do, right now I've got, it's going to be a little bit shaky because this table is super shaky, but it's the only table I have. The StreamYard that I have right now is this is just the free one. So this is all free, believe it or not. This is crazy. Like, like they've got a great little thing going here, and if it, obviously if it gets better and we get more involvement, then we'll definitely do some more stuff. I'm just going to check some other, there's generals and general things. Okay, I'm just looking at some of the other things we can do. Seems like you do a lot here. And then I can like move us around, so it's like if somebody, right? So it's like if whenever Sean goes on his 10-20 minute rants,
he doesn't do that. We could do that.
Oh, we can. That's weird. Ooh. I don't like that at all. That's weird.
No.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
we'll let Sean have the floor when he's going on one of his rants.
I don't do that so much anymore.
Is anyone gone back to these? Have you gone back to these, Sean? Or
I
no, not yet.
I have the second series from the mid 80s.
Which one? The fourth part?
Yeah.
That is not the first one? That's the first one, I think.
Oh yeah? Yeah.
This one. So this is the second. This is the 12-issue one. So I don't have them all. I have because this is back in the day where you'd go to the comic shops and you kind of just hope you got the next one.
Yeah.
Right? Like you didn't really know for sure what you were going to get. So this is pretty good. Like you got Quicksilver here.
Yep.
So yeah, these are all good. And this is like, I literally I don't even know if these are worth anything, but I literally keep them in this really crappy bag. So I've got a couple in this bag, and then I got a couple.
What's funny about the Fox Quicksilver design is he looks more like Quicksilver because he has the white hair. I always thought that was weird, but I think I don't know. I think with him they could do Quicksilver. I don't think they called the other guy Quicksilver in Marvel.
No, they didn't.
Like
they didn't have the rights.
Really Quicksilver, you know.
They didn't have the rights, so they just called him like Peter or Pietro Maximoff.
They call her Wanda. They won't say Scarlet Witch.
They've never called her Scarlet Witch, I think.
No.
Right?
And basically, even in this episode, they went so far as to establish that there isn't even a superhero name for her because the guy asks,
"Is there another nickname?
Is there a nickname?"
Shove it right in your face. Like, is there another nickname?
Well, they're going to say Scarlet Witch.
Like, there is no other nickname.
Didn't he say a silly nickname? Didn't he say a silly nickname? They sort of made fun of it a bit.
No.
No?
Not I don't remember that.
I thought he said a silly nickname.
No, they said Wanda. They just said Wanda. No, her name's just Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't give a silly nickname or whatever or make fun of it, which is good. I like that.
I thought he asked, shouldn't she have a silly nickname like the rest?
Oh, yeah, but that's just that character who's a dick. It's not. Yeah. I don't think the movie is saying that her name is silly, but it. Oh, I see. You're implying that because we know the audience. We know it's called Scarlet Witch. That we're thinking like they're making fun of us, saying, "Well, that's just a silly nickname, so we're not going to use it." I got you. I don't know. I guess you could interpret it that way. I didn't. Maybe I just didn't even think of it in that way.
They do say in that same scene that he's a dick. So, but they block it out with another word or something.
Yeah, like that guy's not supposed to be someone we're supposed to be into. Like we're not supposed to like really be on his side or whatever. Now, is Agatha Harkness? Is that obvious? Because
well, if it is, then what capacity, right? Because there's a continuity where she sort of raises Wanda.
Yeah.
She's also a babysitter for the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Is she good? Is she bad? Is she working for Doctor Strange? Strange is supposed to turn up at some point. So I think she has something to do with something because they keep hinting hard at her. And and no one really talks about her, but it's just weird. Like, she's gonna have something to do with this stuff. Like, did she kill the dog? You know, like And she seems to know, like, she has this line where she's like, you can't control the kids, but it's like she knows that more than it being a laugh line for a sitcom. So, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe she has a hand in creating the kids.
Okay, so are the twins going to be Mephisto? Is that going to be part of his thing? Because we're getting into so I never read House of M, but I do have it, so it's a bit of a fail.
I don't think Mephisto has anything to do with this show.
Oh no, because really? I was thinking because the twins, the babies were Mephisto, his energy or something, and then that draw, and then that drive.
I know, but all this was done in the comics.
Yeah.
But all this is done in the comics. Like I think, like maybe I don't know. The thing is, the way a show is structured, if they did have Mephisto, it has almost nothing to do with the last few episodes. Like, at least Agnes is in those episodes, so they can build off of her, right?
Right.
I'm waiting for the connection to Nightmare because I heard that Doctor Strange was supposed to be the main villain was supposed to be Nightmare. So I keep waiting for Nightmare to come up for some reason in the show.
They've never said anything about that. Like, to me, it's like, okay, Nightmare's here. Well, all you comic people know who that is. Everyone else is like, what the hell is this? Like, that would be weird. I don't know.
Well, Nightmare. Okay, so. Well, we're gonna have to talk about Quicksilver, and where is he? I brought my Quicksilver out here for everybody. I have a Quicksilver tattoo, as you know, but I brought out my little guy here. I'll put him on my desk here to inspire me while we're talking. I also got Wanda. I had to get this because it's exactly her.
That's Scarlet Witch.
So let's talk about Quicksilver. If he's now in it, and it's now the Fox Quicksilver, that means that now we've opened the floodgates, right? Like this is it. Like she's bridged the multiverse. Like she's opened that up. Which means that anyone from the Fox universe, if we're saying the Fox universe is a universe, anyone from there is good to come in, right? Like, because
So
Nightmare's in Ghost Rider, isn't he? He's in Spirits of, was he in Spirit? No, he was in the second. Yeah, he was in the second one, wasn't he? Or the first Ghost Rider?
Who Mephisto?
No, Nightmare.
No, I don't recall him being in there.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
No, I think it was, but it's like just a bastardized version of him. I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up.
I don't recall that movie, but like, so I got a question for the floor because I picked up on something, but I don't know if I'm right or not. So when he opened the door and you saw it was a shot from behind, and you saw the hair, and everyone probably thought it was the Kick-Ass Quicksilver,
Aaron
right?
Taylor. No, John Taylor. What's the guy's name?
Yeah, it's the three name. I think Taylor's in there, but I don't remember.
Taylor's in there for sure. I like that guy. He got a bad shake, but anyway.
He did, but like
it's Blackout that was in
Blackout. Yeah, I didn't think
the other generic demon from
Marvel. The other generic demon. There's too many of these generic demons. Like, what's going on?
Well, Nightmare's awesome. So if they had did a Nightmare like something with Nightmare, I would have known. Like I would have picked up on that because I really like Nightmare as a character.
Yeah, he's
the reason Hulk went crazy back in the day. But anyhow, so the question is that she shows it, and then you see it's Evan Peters, and she sort of pauses. Do you think that pause was because she's like, "Oh my God, Peter's here," or you think that pause was for this is not the Quicksilver who was my brother?
Yeah, I think there's a certain. Everyone's like, "Oh, she's controlling things." I think there are certain things she's not controlling, and that's. I mean, and I think we'll learn more probably about Agnes. But I think it was unexpected for her, right? And then I think maybe she's being rewritten as it's like, oh, now I recognize him as my brother, because it's weird. It's like she knows who her brother is, and then this other guy doesn't look anything like him, right? But then she's like, oh yeah, like, so who's doing that to her, or is anyone doing that to her? I don't know, right?
Yeah, well, my interpretation was that she didn't know who that was, but she sort of deep down was thinking, well, I think that subconsciously she wanted to bring Pietro in, but he's dead. So literally her powers searched the multiverse for Pietro, who's still alive. You know what I mean? Like, and then he manifested in there. Because like the twins are not real people, right? Like everyone else is a real person that lived in Westview who has now been altered, except Agnes or Agatha or whatever we're going to call her. She's still unidentified. If you remember, there's a pause where they're looking at all of the profiles of everybody, and they don't know who she is. So we're not sure who she is. She's probably Agatha Harkness, or some people are saying she may be Mephisto. I mean,
well, they're introducing logic into resurrection, right? Like it seems, right, that you need a vessel in order to resurrect someone. So she doesn't have the body of her brother. So, but you can swing in someone else who is the brother in another reality, and she had the body of Vision. She went out of her way to get it, to resurrect Vision. So you can't really. But then again, she's like, I can't resurrect that dog, and it's like, well, then is it her who resurrected Vision and who brought in Fox Quicksilver? It's probably someone else. Like she says, and do you think she's lying when she says, like, I don't know how this all began, right? So,
I think,
and when she goes and confronts Sword, do you think that's her?
Yes, I do think that's her.
Yeah, I do too.
I think the dog, the twins, are not her, and she can't affect things that are not her. But it's someone, Mephisto,
Agatha,
whoever,
is
working her a little bit.
Because like even Vision's like, how did she even know to bring a doghouse? Like, was she waiting outside the house? Like, what the hell? Like
I'm telling
kids
you,
are hiding a dog, and then all of a sudden she comes in with a doghouse, and he's like, well, that's weird. Yeah.
Agnes is somebody. Obviously, she's going to be somebody. She's either Mephisto or Agatha or whoever. I just went back and reread Agatha getting burned at the stake. That was in Vision and the Scarlet Witch number, I don't know, 3 or something.
I think
4.
people just saying Mephisto because of House of M and everything. It's like because of comic book continuity, but you can't go by comic book continuity. They merely are inspired by the comic stories. Like the only thing they've really introduced is Agnes. They haven't introduced anything about Mephisto. Like they haven't said anything about him. So why would it be Mephisto?
So I think you're going to find though that the Grim Reaper has something to do with this, because my theory is that everyone in the town is actually comprised of dead people, and the reason why is because I think there was a trailer where Agnes was in the car and Vision walks up to her and he says something and she says, "Well, we're all dead here, right, including you." And I think that like he has that realization, like, oh my God, I've been resurrected. I honestly feel because Jay sent that YouTube video from that guy, and the Grim Reaper's helmet is seen in between.
Yeah, it's seen in. I think that's just a I don't know. I felt that it was just a little fun thing for fans. It's like all the numbers mean something too, but it's just like fun comic book things, right?
Did you follow
the thing about that, Steve, is that the one guy he zapped to make Lucid is alive, and when they looked at all the IDs, they didn't say, well, they're all dead too. Like they would have known they're all dead when they gathered all the IDs of everyone, right?
So, or they just haven't said anything yet, because it's possible they don't know yet, because they just know that they're people, right? Other than Agnes, who they haven't been able to establish yet.
Well, wouldn't like a government body know that they're dead? Like, wouldn't they know that?
Like we haven't seen a lot of what's going on because, and I don't know if this is like, I don't consider this a fail, but it seems that the government didn't know anything until Kat Dennings' character showed up and started to like piece everything together. Like they were waiting for that character to show up in order to do it.
Yeah, the only tell that supports that dead theory is that there are no kids. Like, if you took over a town of 30,000 people, or whatever it was, there'd be kids, right? Yeah. And there's no kids playing in the playground and stuff. That's what Vision said, right? So, but the other thing, too, is they're all dead. So how did that happen? Like, what is that? Were they killed by Wanda? Or, like, why is it a town of dead people? That doesn't make any sense.
No, I was thinking Wanda let the kids out of the town because she didn't want to... Like, she's still a good person as much as you can be. She's just been really messed up by all this. And if Sean is right, then there's someone at the back of her head messing with her too, which is why I think the dog and the kids are manifestations of that person.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be Agatha Harkness though. Or would it? Like, because I wouldn't perceive her to be a villain in this.
No.
Or maybe she's helping her along the process, and there's someone else or something like that. I don't know. The rumor was Strange is coming at some point. So
look, is Scarlet Witch?
What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, listen, is Scarlet Witch the villain in this in Doctor Strange 2 or what? Firstly, if she is that
was the rumor. Yeah, that's awesome if it is.
If it is that sick, but I mean, I don't know, because we have to see what's going to happen. I mean, it could be the villain in this series. If it's going to be Mephisto or whoever, maybe that's the villain who's going to be in Doctor Strange. When is Doctor Strange? Like, what is going on with Doctor Strange? Like
2 years from now.
2
years. Or next
year.
So, I
mean, they got a lot of time to develop this thing into something that they want.
It's whenever. And we don't know, because I think it was supposed to be next year. But don't mention it's supposed to be this year, but
don't mention if you want to.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to mention that. Yeah,
just say the beer bug or something. Don't say the name of it.
Yeah,
and don't do anything weird that'll get us that'll end the stream. YouTube's very finicky. If you say something weird, they'll end you.
So I honestly think that Westview doesn't exist. It never existed, because remember when they showed up, the cops are like, there is no Westview.
No, those guys minds have been wiped.
Yeah, no, it exists. That's where the witness relocation person is. And that might be Agatha. You never know, right? Or
that's true.
Agnes or whatever, yeah.
But I also...
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I honestly feel like Westview didn't exist.
No,
At
it
least
does.
It
didn't
does.
exist.
That's where that Wu guy. What's his name in the show? Randall
Jimmy
Park.
Woo?
Jimmy,
Yeah.
he's from
You know
Ant-Man
how old
Part
that
2.
character is? That
He's from
character's from the
Ant-Man.
50s in the comics, man.
Yeah,
He's like
he's
probably
a real character.
older than most of the characters in the MCU.
He predates Marvel. No, but
Yeah,
he was from
he's timely comics, yeah.
Yeah, no, but
Ant-Man.
he was from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, but he in the comics he's in like
Oh yeah, he's in
Yellow
tons of
Claw
stuff.
or
He's in
something like that,
everything.
or-
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but no, Steve. So Steve, let me explain what happened there. When they got there and those cops are being like, there is no Westview, and then they're like, well, where? It goes, there's never been a Westview, even though the sign is there. And then they say, well, where do you live? And he's like, Eastview. So the point is that obviously there's an Eastview, there's probably a Westview. The cops have forgotten it because she's made them forget so that they don't try to come in. That's what I thought was going on.
I felt like it didn't exist. She just created a Westview because it was an Eastview. These guys don't see it because it's been wiped. The only people who can see it are people who are like, I don't know what way you could say. It's possible. I don't know. I've always thought like she created everything. She brought in the dead people, and that's why it's populated with dead people. There's no children because she hasn't looked for dead children because. So everyone's talking about this as House of M. I'm looking at this more as Avengers Disassembled. So Avengers Disassembled is very similar, where she lost the twins and she went crazy because of that, and she just basically like created them again, right? And like it created all this havoc with the hex magic. I honestly think that Scarlet Witch is the person behind this, but she doesn't realize it because that's very comic accurate. Like I don't think she didn't know what she was doing in Avengers Assemble. I didn't read House of M, but I'm guessing she didn't know what she was doing then either. Scarlet Witch has always been like a very unbalanced character mentally, and I don't think. I mean, maybe someone's behind it, but I would guess no. I think it's just all her.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I thought there is a Westview. She's taken it over because it's a smaller town. She's gotten rid of all the kids. She's mind wiped everyone else that she got rid of. So anyone that she pushed out, like the cops and whatever authorities and kids, she's mind wiped them to not know that there is a Westview. And everyone in there is alive under her control because Vision unblocked her powers. And that guy was like, oh my God, I got to call my wife and all that. Now, you could say that guy died and didn't know that he was dead. I think that's harder to explain than just to say she's mind controlling them. Mm-hmm. So I think they're just going to say that she's mind controlling everybody.
I think she has something to do with everything, but she's complicit in something. But like I think there's other stuff going on because that's a bit too basic for the rest of the series. I mean, how many more? I think it's like 4 more episodes or something.
5.
What's supposed to be 9 or 10 episodes?
10.
10?
Yeah.
I'm just looking up Kang because the guy who's gonna play Kang was signed up for I think it was like 5 appearances and things. I'm just wondering. I mean, that could be a big deal if they did something like that, but maybe not. But pardon?
Yeah, Kang's got future tech. So why?
No, but like the only thing I'm going off of is that clue they dropped in I think the last episode where they talked about how there's a primal energy coming from the beginning of the universe towards that town, and some of Wanda's energy is on that too, but something's helping her. So I don't know what that is. It's just that it's weird that they mention that and they talk about it a bit. And they mentioned it a few times after that. It's like, something from the beginning of time. Well, that to me, it could be anything. It could be Kang. Probably not. I mean, that seems a bit too ambitious.
Yeah, it's not.
But it does seem like there's something else, right? Obviously, right?
I feel it's whatever it is, it's a supernatural or mystic thing. It won't be like Kang's more of a tech guy. I don't see tech merging with this. I think they're definitely sticking with the mysticism in this one. So whatever's helping her, it's Mephisto, it's Nightmare, it's like whatever mystical character you can think of.
Yeah, it'll have to be somebody who can stand up to Scarlet Witch, but also to Doctor Strange if they're gonna link people up, right?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a mutant or something, right?
No.
Like, I don't think so. Now Scarlet Witch, they did say Hex. Darcy named it Hex Power or
Yeah.
Hex. I always called it Hex Powers just because that's what we all called it back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't really, I remember when we were kids, we didn't really, or at least I didn't really get too into the details of who can specifically do what power. Like, so Scarlet Witch to me was just a character who could do crazy things, and I didn't really try to wrap my head around what's happening and how is she doing it. So like,
they've never really nailed it down, and sometimes
No.
some writers, it's whatever the writer wants. In the beginning, when she first appeared in Avengers, often her and Quicksilver, they framed it as a law of probabilities. So like if something's probable, she could swing it that way.
yeah, that's
but
what I
that
used
was
to
so
think.
complicated for other writers that they just didn't do it.
Yeah, I just thought she could just like manipulate reality to however she wanted it. That's how I looked at it.
Pretty much she can do both.
Yeah.
It's like, because she's doing a lot of crazy stuff within WandaVision anyways.
So I gotta ask a question about Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Strange
Monica
Man.
or Carol?
Carol.
Yeah.
So there was I was sort of thinking that Captain Marvel may appear at some point, because as soon as you put like Monica in, I was sort of like, I don't know, like, do you guys think that she will make an appearance, and B, what do you make about the whole Monica doesn't seem too impressed with Captain Marvel based off what we saw in this episode?
I think Monica feels that Carol abandoned, because Carol is like one of these characters where she's around doing like intergalactic stuff, right?
Galactic.
Galactic stuff, not intergalactic, but all the entire galaxy. So she's like going around. She's like a Green Lantern, right? She's going around doing stuff. So she's not around, and I think Monica's like, "Oh, you're not around to help your friend," that kind of a thing. I think Monica is going to get a power suit, because you know why? Because her clothes are bulletproof now, and guaranteed they're gonna, and they're white. They guarantee they're gonna turn that into a suit. For maybe this is just me. Anytime I see anything, awesome. I think, oh, there'll be a suit out of this. I love costumes, so I'm like all over this. They're gonna turn that bulletproof getup of hers into some sort of photon-looking costume, and she'll have the white, and she'll have like the black energy thing, and then that'll be her or whatever. I love this actress who's playing Monica, by the way.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She looks exactly like she's exactly the comic. Like,
yeah, and they made her hair look like the 80s hair. Yeah.
I love that hair. Well, I love it on Captain Marvel. I hate it on Batwoman, which is absolutely stupid, because Batwoman fights in the alleys and she has like this big, froey wig. It's like, well, it's very obvious like who you are or what. We just pull that off. Like, it's so stupid. But Monica is great, because she's gonna. I don't know if she's gonna have energy powers, because that's just not gonna, unless they get rid of Carol and she transfers some powers to Monica, which I don't know if that's gonna happen or not.
Yeah.
The storyline I would sort of suggest is she gets the white costume and she becomes Captain Marvel, but she becomes Captain Marvel for Earth and says, I'm not going to be like Carol. I'm not going to go do galactic stuff. I'm going to stick and stop terrestrial problems. And I would actually sort of, and I know this is a little bit weird, but I would actually have it where she's in the Fantastic Four film, because you have Silver Surfer come and she's the first person who goes against Silver Surfer because she perceives him as attacking the Earth, right? And then they have a fight.
Yeah, I'm good with anything that involves anybody in a costume fighting someone else. Like, I'm pretty much good with it. Like, if Silver Surfer shows up on WandaVision this Friday, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I'm okay with anybody showing up. But like, yeah, that would be cool. I don't know what's going on with Captain Marvel 2, because it's like, I don't know, the people kind of don't like having Brie in there as Captain Marvel, and they don't like Carol the character. So I don't know what they're gonna do. But Monica seems to be liked by everybody, at least so far. But she's doing she's not doing anything stupid, right? Like there hasn't been anything stupid yet in this show that I've seen, and there hasn't been anything where you're like, like why are you even bothering with this? And I think this is one of these shows where it does have to be watched as one big movie. There's a lot of weird things. Like they had the cow, what's her name? Bova? No, is that
Bova?
the name?
Yeah.
They had that mentioned, and that was crazy. And there was like a poster that said milker, but again, there's not going to be a cow like that.
No, the thing is, everyone keeps picking out stuff like references to the comics. They're just references to the comics.
References, yeah.
It has nothing to do with the story itself, right? Yeah, that's why, like that helmet. Like, I just feel it's just a thing they threw in there.
Grim Reaper's not going to be in it because he's with Simon. Like, they've messed up the visions. Okay, this is your opportunity to fix things right now because this is very mucky. What they can do is they can find Simon Williams, have Wonder Man, and use some of his brain patterns to bring back Vision. And then you can have Grim Reaper hates Vision because it's not his brother, or it's like they stole his brother's soul or whatever. So, because like Grim Reaper right now would not have any beef with Vision because he's just a machine, right? Like Vision is okay. So I haven't seen Age of Ultron in a while. Vision is just a machine, right? There's nothing more to him.
He's a synthozoid. He's a synthozoid, I thought, where he's basically artificially made, but he's got like brain patterns of human beings, right?
Yeah, so, he's not Human Torch.
No, he's not Human Torch.
That's what you're asking. Yeah.
Who was he? I thought he was Jarvis, wasn't he? Like, but Jarvis was a computer.
He's part of the mix, right? Like he says at one point, they're like, they said, "Are you Jarvis?" He said, "I'm Jarvis. I'm Iron Man. I'm Ultron." He's like, he basically says, "I'm a mix of things."
Yeah, they say synthezoid, but what human elements are in? Like, what human parts are in him? There are no human parts. Like literally. It was Human Torch's body, literally the body of Human Torch, and he's red. Yep. And then they literally take the Simon Williams Wonder Man brain patterns and put them in there. Yep. So that's the human element. But what was the human element in this Vision? Like, they didn't steal anyone's brain.
No.
I don't know.
He's just a robot, I think. I mean, they're saying synthezoid or whatever that exactly.
It might be all the good qualities of Stark and Ultron was the bad qualities of Stark. But he was the voice of Jarvis, so it's basically Jarvis in a robot body.
Yeah. So so this is your opportunity to give him, more of, and maybe the mind gem did something and gave him, more humanistic human qualities or something. I don't know.
Yeah, when he's resurrected here, though, he doesn't have the gem. It's just whatever was there in him to begin with.
But is he resurrected? Like, he's resurrected, and so Scarlet Witch just brought him back, and he has what appears to be the stone, but it's not the stone.
Right. Well, there's a picture. This goes back to my theory about everyone being dead. She sees his corpse, right? Like he's white and he's got the white eyes and he's got the hole in his head and then she sort of like, does that, that classic shaking of the head to sort of, and then she sees him. So I think everyone's dead and she sort of made this reality where they're looking normal and they're interacting and everything. But in actuality, we're looking at a bunch of corpses.
Yeah, but the one guy isn't dead, Steve. So the guy
I believe he's dead. I believe that he was resurrected back to when he first came about. These people could have all been blinked too, right? That's the other thing, because they went back to show the blip coming back, and then all these characters could have been blipped back to where they came from.
I hope they don't trip over their own BS fantasies and stuff, because that doesn't make any sense. Because he made that one guy lucid, so when he does that, he would just be dead. Like, he comes back and he's normal, and he's like, "Oh, I've got to like call my sister and stuff, and like my sick dad It's like but when he undoes the thing that's writing him into this sitcom reality, when he undoes that, he'd be dead. He wouldn't be alive and also.
No. He was
that's not what, no, that's not what Steve is saying. Steve is saying everyone in that town was blipped out of existence, and now they just come back. So they came back to the last point where they remember coming back, just like Monica came back, and she's like, "Oh, I got to check on my mom." It's like your mom's been dead for years. So this guy got blipped back into Wanda's reality.
Okay.
So when Vision did the control breaking, the guy's like, "Oh, I got to call my wife." He reverted back to what he came back from after being blipped back, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what
that would go with the dead thing, which all these guys got blipped out, so they all thought they were dead.
Was Scarlet Witch
dead at one point?
Was Scarlet Witch in the battle at the end of Endgame?
So I thought of that. Yes, she was. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
It got a little bit mucky with the timelines because I saw Monica come back, and then she went to Westview, and then it was like, well, wait a minute, Scarlet Witch got put back and fought Thanos, right? Like, so when did she have time to build this whole reality and still, like, the Vision would have been dead for 5 years, so they had his corpse over here for 5 years, and then she just knew, oh yeah, that's where the corpse is, and picked it up and brought, like, it gets a little bit mucky, and I have to go back to see like the timeline between when Monica comes back, because that's when you see the blip, and that's when I start to figure out, okay, so everyone might have been just blip back, and when she goes to Westview, like, there must have been a time period, because how I looked at it is Scarlet Witch was blip back and she just went to fight Thanos. She didn't build Westview in the meantime. She just went to fight Thanos. That's what I thought.
No, I think she came back. She fought Thanos and they defeated him. Then she went home and she's like, I can't live with myself. I know we killed Thanos, but it's not fair. Everyone else got their loved ones back. I didn't get my loved one back. And then she's like, I'm going to go and get him back. Now, that would derail a bit your idea that everyone was just blipped, because then they would have been alive for a while. So they couldn't have just been brought back.
Yeah.
So we need to know when this is happening. And they haven't really made it very clear, though we saw Monica blip back. So Monica came back and immediately went to S.W.O.R.D. And how long had WandaVision been going on at that point?
Well, that's the thing. Like, how long between the time she got blipped back and the time she got reacquainted with S.W.O.R.D. and then the time she got assigned to this thing? How long was that? Right? It might have been a year. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it seems that long.
No, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We have to see how this is gonna play out. The thing is that this is one of the more interesting ones that we've been talking about. Like, I don't think, I'm not gonna diss Winter Soldier and Falcon, but I have a feeling that it's not gonna be quite as interesting as this because I think that'll be more just like a straightforward action kind of show, which would be great. I like this idea that Marvel, which is funny too, because my sense was that Marvel comics were all very similar. Like me growing up, and I'm talking about, like these days.
Yeah.
It's like, if you liked this, you're going to like Avengers. You're going to probably like, X-Men. Like, it seems like when you got Marvel comics, it's like Hulk, Spider-Man, Thor, Avengers, whatever. They were all pretty good. Like, you could pick up almost any Marvel issue from the Bronze era, and you're like, this is pretty good. I don't think DC was the same. DC to me was very specific, like, oh, I must read the next Batman, or I must read the next Superman. It didn't feel like they all had this. They may have had all the same feel, but they didn't seem to me that they had the same feel. And DC has a very vast variety of characters. Like, Swamp Thing is completely different than, like, a Batman, who's completely different than a Superman, who's that's different from Aquaman. They're all different kind of things. Yet, for whatever reason, it's like, it seems like Marvel is expanding and making different kinds of things more so because like WandaVision has nothing. It doesn't seem like any of the other shows. Like if someone says I loved Endgame, that doesn't mean you're gonna like WandaVision,
No.
right? Because it's a different style. I've had somebody in my comments just recently tell me that WandaVision was trash. He hates it. He thinks it's the worst show. And I'm like, wow, really? And I'm like, okay, you know, and so that's crazy.
The movies are designed to make money on a mass level. Like that's what that's what blockbusters are. So like you have to have some sort of similarity and similar tone and mood, right? TV shows, you can do what you want, right? And that's what they did here, and now everyone's upset. Everyone was complaining about how like similar all the Marvel stuff was, and then WandaVision comes out and everyone's all mad and stuff. It's like, well, like what do you want from them?
Well, I think people like I'm liking that it's so different and that they're trying these different ways to do things. And I think that I think it's half and half. I think people do like this show because like a lot of people that I'm talking to just personally, they're like, wow, that was really cool. It was really, oh, that was weird. You know, what's going on? I don't know. I think people now binge things and having this week to week, it's like they can't. I actually don't.
I know. It's funny. That's how TV worked for like 75 years. Now everyone's all mad that like it's coming out week to week. It's like, oh my gosh, like. But it's a great thing for marketing. I mean, you talk about it every week. Whereas if they put everything out in one day, you talk about it for like 2 days and that's it, and no one cares about that show anymore.
We would do one video and be like, we liked it. It was great. Okay, next thing. You know.
Yeah.
Like that was the problem with Cobra Kai. I powered through all 10 in a row, and then it was over. And I feel like a lot of cool people appeared, but they didn't get their due because, like, Chosen coming back is huge. Like, I would have liked to have a week to ponder.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Chosen
anticipate the next thing. Yeah.
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 And I mean, I could have done that because I have the opportunity to wait. But the problem is if you don't, everyone's gonna. I don't care about spoilers. Like I don't care about spoilers, but I mean, on the other hand, I do want to experience things if I can. Like if I couldn't make it to the theater for Endgame because I was out of town or something, and it was like a week later and everything was spoiled, I wouldn't have cared. But if I'm there, obviously I'm gonna watch it. So if Cobra Kai shows up and it's there, well, yeah, I'm just gonna watch it because it's there, right? So I mean. Why wait? But I mean, it would have been nice.
Yeah, I read about the Pietro thing about a week or so ago, and so when it happened, I was nonplussed. Like I didn't really, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I read about this, and the shock wasn't there. Now when I initially read it, I was sort of like in disbelief. I was like, well, they're not going to do that, are they? So that was where my reaction was. But I would have liked to have had that reaction watching the thing.
Yeah, I had that reaction watching it. Like, and I feel very much like I definitely agree. Like, I feel people who don't like this show are not like the older fans or more of the newer, younger fans because WandaVision has a specific style that isn't just MCU. It's actually television. Right? It's like you have to know 50 sitcoms and how they would react. Like even the beginning, like how they do the title, like each week it's a different title screen and a different like animation and a different song, right? And it's very much of its time. You're not going to get that if you don't or appreciate it if you don't really know how a 1950 sitcom worked. Like I Love Lucy or something. You'd be sitting there like, I don't get this. This is stupid.
I love the criticism that a lot of people had that they're not fun. They're not that funny. It's like, guys, like I love old sitcoms, but let me tell you the truth about them. They're not laugh out loud funny. Like they weren't when I was a kid. They put a smile on your face, and you like the saccharine sort of aesthetic of them and everything. You feel comforted watching them. But they were never, I mean, they usually were never laugh out loud funny. As a kid, I was like, why are these people laughing? I don't, it's not a recording. They're actually, ho, ho, ho. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like you have to be there. But they did capture that perfectly in this. They weren't supposed to be funny sitcom episodes.
No.
It was just the aesthetic of this sitcom. I thought that they were great in highlighting the sinister parts and making them feel more sinister in comparison to everything else that's going on, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
It's just very fun, but like you have to get the joke. It's almost like an inside joke. and if you don't get the inside joke, you're going like, this is stupid, right? So I honestly feel like people who don't like this show aren't aware of what it's doing. Like, they're not aware of the style or anything. So.
Yeah, well, they're not, and yeah, the sitcoms they weren't funny. Like Leave It to Beaver, I Love Lucy, like they're not funny. Like you didn't sit there like busting a gut. Like sometimes in The Office, both the American and British one, I've like really laughed, pretty good. But yeah, those old ones I don't, but I enjoy them. I love Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah.
If Lucy is on, I'll throw that on. So I like those shows. And I loved the first episode of WandaVision. I'm like, this is great. Like this is and then it's the most obvious jokes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh honey, it's like we have to do this. It's like, okay. And it's like you're using your knife.
It's that dumb thing that like Jen and I burned through, like my wife and I burned through Bewitched. And for some reason, they're like, God, there must have been like 20 or 30 episodes where the boss invites himself over for dinner. And it's like, that never happens in real life. But I don't know, it was just a weird trope. And they did that in the WandaVision episode. I thought it was hilarious because it's like, oh, if I don't put on a good dinner, I'll never get that promotion, or like I'll get fired or something. That's ridiculous. Like,
it's
HR has to step in at some point, right? Yeah.
That would never happen in the time period they're saying it's happening.
Yeah, that never happened back then. That's not relatable.
Like back then, it would have been worse. You wouldn't have even, your boss would have just been like, "Get out," and you're like, "Okay." Like, I mean, now like now I talk to my boss about WandaVision. I'm like, "Did you watch WandaVision?" And she's like, "Yeah." So it's like my boss and I talk, but like back in the 50s, you wouldn't be talking to your boss about bullshit. He'd be coming out saying, "Where's your numbers? Here they are. Okay, good. Bye." You certainly wouldn't invite him over for after work hijinks. Like, like, oh no, I dropped the meat. What are we gonna do? I don't know. It's like, we better whip something up. It's like,
tell the wife at last minute, and it's like, okay, whip up a good dinner. It's like, oh no, what do I do? And
what do I do? Yeah, and it's like that would never happen. Yeah. So, but it happens in those sitcoms. Well, the point of it is that Wanda has concocted a perfect life, and this is what you would see as a perfect life. Even when something sinister happens in a sitcom, it's not really that bad. Like if someone's literally having a baby, like you got to get to the hospital. Like you got to, like, let's go. They're all like, oh, we should get to the hospital. Well, yes, we should. And she's like having contractions or whatever, and she's hiding it with like a bowl of food. It's like, are you crazy? Like you would not pretend, right? And Vision's like, let me go get the doctor, run and go get him. And it's like, well, but that's the thing. But when the actual weird things happen, it's pretty awesome. Because like when they showed Vision and he was all like, his head was broken apart, you're like, oh shit. That was sick. Like when she turns and he's like all weird looking.
The other thing too is, I wonder if they're gonna like put in a mention as to why someone from Sokovia or whatever made up country in Europe, why they have a fondness for American sitcoms. Like you can surmise in your head, like, oh, they played American sitcoms or something in Sokovia, and she just watched like 50s, 60s, and 70s and 80s sitcoms. But I don't know. It's kind of weird.
No, I thought that.
Yeah. I feel like Sokovia was like, you saw it was like war torn, right? And the reason why she hated Stark was because that bomb went off, right, and killed her parents basically.
And occupied by America, maybe, or
I feel though that it was like, I almost feel like Sokovia is like, I don't know, like Russia or something, where it's like there's a lot of impoverishment and stuff, and like the state controls things, and you dream of a better life, and you see it through American sitcoms, which you may have seen on TV and syndication, because America seems to put their channels across the world, right? Like people in Japan know who Batman is. Like that's like that's how far across the globe America's culture has like integrated itself in other cultures. So I feel like that's what she said. Like she feels like this is the ideal life that she wished she could have had with Vision. One question I'm going to ask you guys too is, what happened to the beekeeper? It's still
I was wondering about that. Did he die, or what happened? Right.
I was thinking she maybe zapped him out or something.
Well, they didn't mention that. He's probably going to make an appearance later. I don't know. Or they've forgotten about him, because that's I find that in modern shows. I mean, this one seems pretty put together, but like in modern shows, things just happen and just are forgotten. And then people on the internet is like, what happened to this guy? Right? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be. That they just kind of forgot, or we just assume that he got pushed out or whatever, and he's back. Did they not know? I guess he didn't know. They didn't push him back out. I guess they didn't push him back out because we didn't see that.
No, they made a big deal of naming the character and showing him and going through, like his perspective going through into the other world, but like they didn't show what happened to him. I thought that was on purpose and they would use him later or something. So I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see what they're gonna do with him. But like, I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen in the next. Like, I know that Halloween episode's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, when the hell's that?
When's that? And then that'll be cool because this is where we're gonna see if Mephisto's in there. There'll be like a devil character. There'll be a guy dressed as the devil, and that'll be Mephisto, guaranteed.
There was a leak. I won't mention what it is, but like it has something to do with Vision. So,
where's my chalk white Vision?
Well, you kind of got him.
I kind of got him. My West Coast Vision.
Yeah, you only get him when he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe I don't know. Like they could do something. Well,
maybe that. In an alternate reality, like that's what they would do. They would say, you know what? We brought him back, but we couldn't bring back his color, so he's like the chalk white Vision. Like the 80s awesome. Avengers Vision, yeah.
Yeah, I have the issue from when I was a kid, the West Coast Avengers issue, which was Behold the Vision, and it was the same.
Yeah.
Instead of being the red cover, it was him as.
For a long time, I thought that was Vision, like just because when I got into comics, that's what Vision was that white Vision, and he was like that in video games. I had a toy Avengers. Of that. It's like that's what he was, and then I realized, oh yeah, before that he was all colorful and stuff.
Yeah, so, to me, well, he looks too much like Silver Surfer if you make him all.
Yeah,
he's got a cape and stuff.
He's got a cape and stuff, and a thing on his head. So
they can make him like gray, like a grayscale version of that. If they bring him back in that way. But yeah, Quicksilver coming in. I mean, now we've opened the doors. That's it. Everyone's coming in. Logan's appearing next week. No.
I mean, the problem really is though is that the X-Men timeline was so screwed up.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I'm not excited for Fox X-Men coming into Marvel. Like I would prefer they just do their own thing, and I'm sure that's what's going to happen. And like, listen, all we saw was like the Fox version of Quicksilver came. We don't know who this guy is. If he really is the Fox version of X-Men, I mean, it's the actor, right? But like, is it someone in disguise? Like, we don't know anything about this. I don't think it. I sure as hell hope that it's not showing that like all of the Fox X-Men will come into the Marvel year, because as you say, Steve, their continuity is so messed up. I don't even know which way is up with those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, he better be Quicksilver, because if it's some other bullshit thing, that'd be really shitty. Like, there'd be no point in bringing that in, and then he's not Quicksilver. Like that would be really outrageous. Like, why'd you even bother then?
Well, I feel,
yeah. Go ahead.
I feel like what Marvel was trying to do. Like I thought the phase 1, 2, and 3 was ambitious. I feel like what they're doing now is even more ambitious, which is basically what the Flash Crisis did, which is basically marry all the multiverses and saying they all exist simultaneously.
Yeah.
Right. And that's going to be interesting to see, because I mean, on one aspect, it's cool because you get all these crossovers, but on the other thing, it gets very messy when you start expanding to that degree.
Yeah, like all these rumors we're hearing about the next Spider-Man, where they're combining like everything, and it opens up opportunities. Like, do you want to see a new Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? It doesn't erase the other ones. It's just a new Tobey Maguire. It's a part 4, and then you can have the part 4 Tom Holland. And on like that. The only thing is, like, how will mass audiences that don't know or care about multiverses react to that, right?
I had that
because
discussion.
look, Rogue One came out, and at work people were confused because like they all went to see it. It made $1 billion, but they were confused. They didn't know where it sat in the Star Wars timeline. To us, it's obvious. It's just before A New Hope. But to other people, they didn't know what the heck was going on. Like, where's Luke then? If it's that way, and and what's it confused people. And that's a very minor augmentation of continuity. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had a discussion with the Truth on his stream, saying that you got to be careful, because guy at home who comes back home, works hard, or it's two parents working in the household, come home, they're like, hey, let's take the kids, go see a movie. The dad's like, okay, what do we got? Oh, Superman, let's go watch Superman. And then Superman is snapping people's necks and all that, and they're like, well, shit, that ain't Superman. What is this shit?
Right.
Right. And then you got generic guys like, oh yeah, Spider-Man, and then he's gonna go watch this into the what, or not into the verse, whatever it's called, the Spider-Man part 3. He's like, it's like, Dad, why is there 3 Spider-Mans? It's like, I don't know. Like, why is there? Like, what is this? Like, is that? It's like, I thought that guy was Spider-Man, And
that was the argument with BVS, in that like that movie ends with that monster killing Superman, and us comic book people know that he'll come back, right? But you take your kid to see this Batman vs Superman movie, and Superman dies at the end, and your kid's like, what? Like, is Superman dead? And you're like, I don't know, Timmy. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You're getting too much into the weeds,
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, you have to decide what you want to be, because see, something like Superman doesn't cost $5 to make. So it needs to reach a lot of people, and it needs to reach a lot of people that are generic people. Let's face it. I'm not making fun of somebody. I'm not saying I'm better than you because I know comics and you don't know comics. But there's just a person out there who wants to go watch a fun movie. This Flash movie is going to be a disastrous mess. I can guarantee it, because there's going to be, Flashpoint, he's going to go back and meet this Batman and this Batman. People are going to be like, what is happening? Why? It's like, I just want to see. It's like, people don't know who the Flash is.
Yeah, so, it's the first Flash movie and you're doing all this? Yeah.
Yeah, the first Flash movie needs to be, Barry Allen's a hardworking guy. His mom is killed. His dad is framed. Oh no! And then Timmy's like, Dad, but his dad's not the bad guy. Oh, I don't know, son. Something's gonna happen, And then it's like, oh, there's this Reverse Flash guy. He's a piece of shit. He killed. Oh my God, he framed the dad. Oh, And then Barry gets powers. Oh wow, he's gonna find out who killed his mom. And it's like, that's your movie. I just wrote it for you. It's like, no, let's have him team up with several Batmans in an alternate time, and they're like, what is happening? Like, even I don't care about that. I'm like, well, I've already read all of this, and I've seen this on the TV show. Like, who are you appealing to? Now, if you really want to appeal to mass audience, like, this will appeal to the 3 of us. We'll be like, well, that was very interesting. They brought back Michael Keaton. This is great. And then we'll all go home, and then we'll buy it on 4K, like good Warner Brothers supporters or whatever, AT&T. Hey, we bought it on 4K. And then they're going to be like, this movie didn't make $1 billion. What happened? Well, what happened was that people don't know what the hell is going on. And they're not going to watch it.
I'd argue that that's already happened with Man of Steel. Listen, I know everyone. I know Man of Steel has its defenders, but listen to reason. Yeah. It's not Superman.
Right.
It's like you bring your kid to this, and Superman's like snapping necks and like going crazy, and he's not really, and just on a general sense, he doesn't seem very mindful of trying to save people. And like his father commits suicide by standing in a storm. You're going a bit too far with trying to be profound and like, and you think you're being smart, but you're not. It's like there are ways to articulate Superman's sense of duty to people. And not go overboard with dark crap that you can't really explain to a mass audience, right? And Man of Steel didn't do as well as it could have. And Batman vs Superman didn't do as well as it could have. It has a Batman who's like hot poking people with a branding iron.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, what did you expect? It's like, oh, these things didn't make that much. Well, because it ain't Batman, it ain't Superman. You're going a bit too far with things. You know, present the characters.
Yeah.
And have someone smart to write for that, right? You know, it happened in the 70s. And like, listen, the 70s wasn't a campy era. I've said this before. Like the 70s was hell. It's like you couldn't fill up your car with gas. There's a gas crisis. There's Nixon. I mean, it was awful. People were cynical. They still flocked to see Superman because it was Superman.
Yeah, and they want the proper Superman. Like,
yeah,
it's like my wife, who's Indian or whatever, she saw Superman in the theater with her parents. Like they all went as a family, and they're very mindful. Like Bollywood movies are very, very tame back then. Like you don't even kiss on the lips. Like there'd be these epic love stories where they'd end with a hug, and you're like, oh, like it's not even like, oh, kiss the girl at the end. So they're going to see Superman, and they're like, wow, this is like amazing. You know, they're blown away, whatever. And then let's go see Man of Steel, and there's like, super damage. Superman is destroying people's trucks. I just don't get it. And it's like, it's very petty. He's very petty with his actions.
Yeah.
His father doesn't instill him with any sort of sense of morality. Like when this, it's like, you know, the bus, it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have saved them, I don't know, you know. It's like, why are you being weird?
Why is that in there? Why is objectivism in this movie? That's, you know, give that to like The Question or somebody, right?
Right, because Superman has a name, and there's people who love Man of Steel, and there's people who love this style, and that's fine. But they're not the majority of people because the movies aren't making as much money. If Captain Marvel, who's a super zero character compared to Superman and Batman, if her movies are making way more, then you know that you've lost people in the marketing or something somehow, because people went to go see, and nobody likes Brie Larson. So nobody likes Brie Larson, and they still went to go see the movie. And then they don't like her in the movie anyways, but they still went to go see the movie anyways, right? And it's like, well, Superman should be way higher than all of these things. It's like it should be making way more money. And
it's what Kevin Feige said. It's like they just went to the character and just told a story about that character and that personality, and they, you know, it's like Iron Man movies notwithstanding, but like you know, like Captain America, before that first movie, that was not a mega known commodity.
No.
And it always seemed very cheesy. And every time you saw rumors about like a new Captain America movie coming out, perhaps, there was always discussions of how are they going to do this, though? You know, like it's not like we're raw America like we used to be and all that. And Thor was another one. Like, how are you going to bring that to life on the screen? It's like no one cares about this character. He's boring in the comics. What are we going to do about this? And those movies were hits. And they made sequels, and the sequels were hits. And then they developed the characters through more and more appearances. And they didn't reinterpret. Well, I mean, Thor, they made him a bit more interesting and jokey. But they, for Captain America, he's the Boy Scout that people made fun of and said you can't make on screen like work, right? And they did it. You know, they did it because they understood the character. They went to the character first and said, okay, with this character, what kind of story can we tell, right? So it's like that first movie. The second movie is like a man who has American ideals that other people in a new America don't have, right? You know, and in the third one, he's tested, right? He has his own convictions. Other people don't see that, and then they pick sides, you know, etc. They're telling stories around the character, not, you know, reinterpreting it. Okay, he's going to brand people with a branding iron. Like, no, he's not, right?
What's really interesting, though, is that there was a thought process after Dark Knight. I look at Dark Knight as like one of those turning points. Maybe not like the movie's worth it, but it's like one of those turning points where it's like the perception always was that the people want these gritty, tough, you know, superheroes. And I feel like that's what Man of Steel came out.
Yeah, so make everything like that.
Instead
of like looking at the characters individually and making, you know, it's like
Right. So, like, what the interesting thing that ended up being is when they did that, the character wasn't as successful as when they stayed true to the character on the other side, which was Captain America.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of funny. Like, everyone said, "Oh, you gotta make Superman gritty because Dark Knight was gritty, and we just want gritty." Okay, they made it gritty. No one liked it, or not very many people liked it. But Captain America, they didn't do that to, and everyone loved Captain America.
Yeah, well, let me just say something too. Is like Captain America and Iron Man and Thor and all that, they were hits relative to like their budgets, but they didn't. Of course, they didn't make as much as like Man of Steel or BVS. But the thing about those movies is that those movies, like, they made a lot of money because of the character recognition, right?
Yeah.
Because of course a Superman and Batman movie should make more than Captain America. As the Captain America and Iron Man and Thor movies and Avengers movies went on, they made more and more and more money because they built their brand, right?
Yeah.
With the Superman Batman movies, they made less money, and then when they released Justice League, it made like really disappointing numbers compared to Avengers, which made $1 billion, right, and broke that $1 billion club, right? Building a brand of, like, characters that people thought 5 years before couldn't really work on the screen. Building that brand. But with Superman and Batman, they sort of kind of tarnished the brand by just limping forward and with characters, but like not presenting them in a way people found appealing, right? So it's disappointing. It's the same old thing we're gonna like argue about constantly with DC versus Marvel on the big screen. It's disappointing. It's frustrating. It seems unnecessary. I think that's the reason why I feel frustrated by it. It's like, my gosh, make a Superman movie. Don't make him an angry guy with his veins popping out. Like, just make Superman. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, nobody bought after these Marvel movies had come out. People were buying tons of merch. Like, I saw Captain America shirts. The escape room. Everyone was coming in. The employees at my escape room
infused the brand,
stuff.
Yeah.
They were wearing Captain America shirts. They were wearing Iron Man shirts. Everyone. And the thing is that even the people that really, really liked Superman and Batman and all of those other ones, even the people that really liked it, they're like, yeah, that was a very interesting Superman. It was a little bit different. It wasn't what I expected. It wasn't your father's Superman. That's great. Yeah, so you're going to go buy all the toys and comics and you're going to go buy T-shirts? It's like, no. Okay, so who cares then? Like, it didn't do anything. It's like the guys that it's like the people that love JJ Star Trek. It's like, oh, that was a really cool movie. You gonna buy anything? No. You gonna buy the movie? No. You gonna go buy Star Trek toys? No. You gonna go buy comics? No. You gonna watch?
You're not excited or inspired by the brand.
Right. You're not excited by the brand.
Yeah.
I watched one episode of WandaVision and I went right back to my long box and pulled this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, I gotta go back and reread these because I know I'm missing something. And it's like, there you go. It's like and then the second the pre-orders for those Funko Pops came in, boom, I ordered it. It's like I didn't order any from Batman, from any of the Superman, except for the Shazam ones. I ordered Mary and Billy, and I ordered Wonder Woman because she's the only true one. Actually, I got Aquaman and Wonder Woman. No, I got the ones that were more like the actual characters. But I did not buy Batman or Superman. I bought Wonder Woman and Shazam and Aquaman. That's pretty brutal. I didn't buy Batman or Superman.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman's the standout.
I went back home and watched Chris Reeves Superman. Or George Reeves Superman. I love those shows too. Right now I'm watching Superboy, which I think is probably the best Superman series probably we've ever had. But yeah.
Well, what about the Lois and Clark, or not Lois and Clark? What's it? Superman and Lois.
Has that come out yet or no?
No.
It's like 3 weeks or so. Guys, remember, there's going to be a lot of talking. There's going to be a lot of emotional drama because it's the CW. Dad, people at school are saying that they're making fun of me. Oh, son, we'll do it. It's like, oh,
feelings.
I want Superman fighting guys. Like, oh dear.
CW, I think, is written by a bunch of like teenage girls. Like, I honestly feel that way now. Like, I have zero idea like what I'm watching, unless it's like the more adult shows like Black Lightning, or The Flash, I guess. Like, they're a little bit less like, but God, when they go off like that's like Supergirl and Black and Batwoman, God, they're terrible. Oh, when they're bad, they're so bad.
Supergirl fought someone every episode, no or no?
Pretty close, so that's something.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they'll do that with Superman. I haven't seen any casting for anyone interesting, so probably not.
The Stranger, who I think is
Phantom
the
Stranger.
Yeah.
Phantom Stranger, yeah. There's a mysterious villain. I think they made one up.
Will he look like Phantom Stranger? Because I collected that comic when they relaunched it in '52 or whatever it was.
Will he be Judas? Like,
yeah.
Oh man, I know that Phantom Stranger's awesome, man. That woke me up again. I was like, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's it. And he's got the friggin' silver pieces and everything.
He's got it around his neck.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, necklace of the silver pieces.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No, they can't. Like that'd be ludicrous. I mean, like, what the hell? Seriously.
I just want like a villain of the week type of thing, like what they used to do with Flash. But with Superman and all that. But not this like sitcom stuff.
Supergirl stole a lot of the villains.
Yeah.
So now they just have to get some more, which is fine. They could do a lot of stuff. But I mean, we'll see what happens with Super. I'm looking forward to it in the sense that it looks like it's a little bit better quality, at least from the trailer. It seems like it's better aesthetic quality than, Batwoman or Supergirl or whatever. Flash I can still watch just for the fun value of seeing Flash run around. That's kind of neat. Legends is a dead falling off a cliff. Batwoman is so like falling off cliffs. It's so there's got to be a minimum. They can't go 10 minutes without a cringe moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very cringe moments, like really cringe bad moments. It's like she goes for a job interview and the guy doesn't hire her because she has a prison record. Well, he saw her resume before he called her in for an interview, didn't he?
Yeah. So
he's like, I see on your resume that you spent time in Blackgate. Oh, we're not going to hire you. Well, why did you call her in for an interview? It's so stupid.
Yeah,
and I don't know if they're trying to imply that she's black and he's white, and that's why they didn't hire. And that's why
probably what it was. Yeah.
Now, if they're trying to say that, well, that's still a fail because he would have just said, oh, she's a prisoner. I'm not going to call her in anyways. So you're saying that he was okay with her being a criminal until he saw that she was black? That's outrageous.
I can hire a criminal, but not a black criminal.
Right. Is that what they're trying to say? Oh, dear Lord. That's really awful. But anyways, that show is and then there's a villain last week, Sophia, worst and most boring villain in the history of live action television. She's just like on this island and they're like, oh, I don't care about you. And she's like, oh, I run everything. It's like, no, you don't. You don't do anything. It's like, Batwoman could just kick you in your mouth right now and you're dead. It's like, it's just so stupid.
That's bad.
Anyways, it's bad. WandaVision though is good. So
it's good.
Next week is I hope I'm waiting for the Halloween episode, man.
I want to see her in the costume. I love Scarlet Witch's costume. I want to see. I don't. If they make fun of her, I actually don't care. I just want to see her in the costume for once. I love the Scarlet Witch's costume. I would just.
She looks cool. You know what's funny? It's like that Halloween costume is supposed to be like a cheap Halloween costume. I'm like, she looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
I gotta say, Elizabeth Olsen has been great as the lead in WandaVision. I was shocked because not that I don't like Elizabeth Olsen, but she's never had to carry anything that I've ever seen. So I was kind of like, I don't know how this is going to work, but she's carried it, man. She's
carried it. And Paul Bettany is awesome. We know that Paul from before. Awesome. Yeah. And we know that from before. And like Master and Commander. Yeah. He's awesome. Yeah. He's just a good actor. And Elizabeth Olsen has stepped the friggin' up, man. She's like, okay, this is WandaVision. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here.
Well, when she walked outside that barrier, and she like threw the drone at them, and it's like, I really like her as Scarlet Witch. And I really like. I know this is not your father's Scarlet Witch, but I do like this Scarlet Witch. I wish she was in a proper costume.
Yes,
but that's my only complaint. I really, really like her as Scarlet Witch.
So I mean, she could get Polaris in there from the Fox. What was it? Gifted.
Yeah.
Because you know, and then and in Gifted she had the tiara thing or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So man, it's opened up so many doors here for all these people to come in. I mean, I think it's going to be Quicksilver.
We got a comment.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, Scarlet Witch is awesome. Comic Book G Spot. If you want to join on in. I put the StreamYard link. We'll probably go. I can probably go for another like 30 minutes or so before I got to get going. Steve, privately, no chat tonight.
Okay.
We're postponing till next Sunday.
That's cool.
Yeah, he couldn't make it.
That's cool.
So yeah, Comic Book G Spot. They've got a pretty cool channel as well that I just subbed the other day. But yeah, like I don't know, WandaVision, man, it's just awesome. And like like Scarlet Witch, like she's leveled up because like I thought she was okay. Like I mean, her and Quicksilver were okay in in Avengers, and when they all teamed up and fought Ultron, that was like pretty cool. Obviously, and I love Quicksilver. I've got a Quicksilver tattoo. I got Quicksilver. I got Polaris. I got to get Vision and Scarlet Witch, and I got Wonder Man. So I would literally have like the whole entire. Who am I missing? I'd have to get Grim Reaper,
Wonder Man.
I need like the whole family. What's that?
Wonder Man. Well, you have Wonder Man, right?
I have Wonder Man.
Yeah.
And I've got Quicksilver, and I have Polaris. So I need Scarlet Witch and Vision. I was thinking about doing maybe Scarlet Witch and Vision together, and then I could do Scarlet Witch and Vision together. And then I would need, who else would I need? Is that Magneto, I guess. But Magneto's not their father anymore.
No, not anymore.
No, they retconned him out.
Yeah, they retconned that, man.
Well, they retconned him in, so everyone forgets that.
Yeah,
he was the most popular incarnation.
I know. It's the Wizard, and
the from the old Timely comics, right?
Yeah, Ms. America. Was it Ms. America?
Well, I was reading the issue where she turns into I'm going to screw up the name. I think it's Siphon or Chiffon. Remember?
Yeah.
She gets possessed, and she by Chiffon, like it's the old gods, like what Bradbury I think wrote about them, right? Like.
Yeah. Yep. I know what you're talking about.
And they mentioned in that one the Wizard was her dad, and I didn't know at that time. I only knew her as the daughter of Magneto. So when they're like, "Oh, the Wizard, my dad, the Wizard," and I'm like, "The hell did that happen?"
Yeah,
I didn't realize that the Magneto thing actually came after that.
Yeah.
So if you pick up, there's a few I can show you. I don't have screen sharing enabled, but this is the Comixology. If you can't find these, I don't have all of these. I missed. Remember, I was getting these like way back in the day, so you couldn't. And Sean, you can say too. It was very difficult to try to go track issues down. You just buy what you could buy. Yeah. West Coast Avengers was my favorite team, even though my channel is mostly X-Men stuff now. But West Coast Avengers was like my favorite, and I have all my childhood West Coast Avengers, and now through a lot of these shows, I've been able to start filling in gaps. Like I had number 1, number 2, number 5, and then I had like 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then it'd be like 22, 20, it would just be random. So I've been getting the Comixology stuff in order to just be able to read it in my hand very quickly. But I do plan on going back and completing all of those issues. But no, this is a good set. This is an important issue. This is a great one. But I suggest getting this. It's good. But this entire Comixology set gives you a lot of what you need. It's the first stuff with Vision, and it even retells the origins. So it's like, because the Giant Size Avengers book gives you a retelling anyways, so you can very quickly go through this, and you'll actually see, I believe at the end of this collection is where you get the Magneto stuff. I'm gonna see if I can find it. So there's Magneto there. I don't know if you can tell there. You can see. So now remember, Magneto turned good for a while.
Yeah.
So now that was when he had the Marvel. Remember the TSR role playing?
Yeah, the Magneto thing. Magneto being their father was the most compelling iteration of that. I think that's the reason why it just sticks in people's minds.
I mean, to me, that's still my go-to memory.
Yeah.
My go-to memory is that, and like, I was out of comics for a while at that point. Oh, let's get him in here.
Yo, buddies,
hey,
you're
what's
talking my
going
game
on?
right here.
The
Oh,
G-Man.
I am impressed by the tattoos. That's awesome.
Okay, we're gonna strip down
True
real quick.
geek here. Scarlett, you guys have no idea. When I seen you guys talking this, I was like, I gotta get on this conversation. I am such a freak about this woman. Let me see this. That's
cool.
Awesome.
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 And then I got Batman.
Sweet.
I got Captain Marvel. I know everyone hates Captain Marvel, but
no. What do you mean? Come on, she's part of it.
Hawkeye.
Nice. Like that a lot.
Who else we got on this site? Oh, I don't know if you would. Do you know these guys? I don't know if you can see them.
Oh, yes. That's who is it? Tell me who it is.
The Avengers, Emma Peel and John Steed.
Oh,
and there's Quicksilver.
Love it.
Where's
Quicksilver? Nice.
Polaris.
So that's awesome.
Gray Hulk.
Love it.
Spidey, of course, and it's hard. It's gonna be hard to see Aquaman.
Sweet. Who did? Local artist did those for you?
Yeah, she's well, no, this big one is an artist who's about 10 minutes away from me in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
This was 8 hours.
Oh yeah, I have some tattoo work that done on my whole side. That's like took me 8 hours.
Yeah, that's a bruise. So we did two sittings on that. We did 5 and 3.
Okay,
the other ones are quickie.
So continue on with I was listening to the books you were just talking about.
Oh no, we were just saying that, like, I'm trying to go back and collect the rest of this because this is all stuff when I had as a kid. Yeah, I see Secret Wars. I've got Secret Wars, the first Black Spider-Man. I've got that.
Oh no, not that. Hold on. I want to show you some Scarlet Witch love. This is how much I love it. I don't care. There's one book, and I put it out there to the community on my channels, and I told them, listen, you guys, I know everybody's all hoopla about it was issue 5, I think. Strange Academy.
Yep,
Strange Academy came out with a virgin cover and a trade dress. I think it's issue 6. I'm screwing it up somewhere, but all it was an art representation of her, and it was beautiful cover. I just want the virgin and a regular trade dress, and I was willing to trade up if somebody wanted to trade with me. I've got multiple copies of this, and I know this has nothing to do. I don't know why they did this, but the art is gorgeous. And I don't know if you ever seen Deadpool 13, but Deadpool 13 back on Marvel's came out with this.
Yes.
Okay. And it was a gorgeous cover, but the really prettiness of it is the virgin cover of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So go ahead.
No, actually, oddly enough, I have that on my phone.
I even have one signed by the artist as well. No, it has nothing.
This is my current wallpaper.
Nice. See, I was listening to part of your conversation, and I don't want to interrupt because you were like just talking about the comic books. So the king size, whatchamacallit, you were just saying before I interrupted.
Oh,
so
yeah. So there's an omnibus coming out as well that's going to give you, because it's very tough for people to get comics nowadays because of, the beer bug, and the shows aren't available. Like Sean and I used to hit a show every month in Toronto.
Right.
That was only comic books.
Right.
No
toys, no Funko Pops.
No Funko Pops.
Well, now what? Wait, I got another surprise for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Right. My Queen G. Okay, so listen, I've been a Scarlet Witch fan ever since I've been a little kid. Okay, and the thing that's always bothered me is I know that everybody's got their thing, and I have a thing for really powerful, intelligent, but powerful female characters, especially in my universe, in our world. Okay. And Scarlet Witch was one of them. And along with many lines of different female characters, but she was the top of the list. And I have to tell you, when me and my Queen G went to the movie theater to watch it, I swear the end game, when she came out of the porthole with all of them, and she's the first one, just you have no idea, and her eyes are all. I was like, me and Missy just stood up, like, oh my God, finally she's getting her time, and you know it's not going to end that way. You know it's not going to end that way, but you're like, oh my God, this is great, but it was cool. And what really bothered me is I have a lot of nerdy friends, and they would argue, and we'd have these conversations like this about these characters. And I'm trying not to go squirrel on you, so I apologize. The thing about her is, she was always underappreciated, always underrated. And in the comic book series and all of the books that she was in, her story gets very convoluted with all the other comic versions that are out there. And everybody tries to track that down of who is this chick? Who is she? And, and they've come out with some solid lines. They've come out with some solid stories, but it's been very confusing. And here's the thing where I give like Marvel, or Disney, and what they're giving us for our eye candy on the big screen, bringing these characters to life. This is the one tiny thing. They do give some of us fans a little bit of like, they're listening to us, because us as fans, we're giving them some information, we're giving them some feedback, whether we're watching it, whether it's Mandalorian, anything like that, we're giving them the feedback. And some people text and write into the company and say, listen, why isn't this character this is an important character. So sometimes they listen, and that's what people need to do more of. And the unfortunate side effect, us old guys, okay, I'm 55, so it's like, it frustrates me. We have a younger generation that's coming up. Okay, I've been collecting ever since I was a little kid, and my collection's huge. Right. And I have 5 grandkids. Wow. And I try to get them into reading. Okay, and I've got certain books put away for them on the side to, hey, this is something for you. This is something for you. This is what I want you to read. It's getting back to that generational gap. Okay, from the time sometimes we would wait 1 month for our continuation of our series to come out. Yeah. We'd get, and then you'd get your annual, and an annual back then was a rewind of maybe the last 3 months of what we read. And he'd give you like the highlights, and sometimes they'd give you full stories. And now it's like they're throwing whole books in there, and some of the new Marvel tales are like that. So you're getting a whole full story. So you got a different generation. Getting to my point of the story. Sorry, guys. The thing is, the new generation that comes in, they're like, who is this character? And they get into it, and they see it on the screen, and it's like, wow, this is awesome. And then when they get into it, it keeps pumping money into the flow of things. You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm getting at. You have to they can't give what we know all in one movie, because people are going to be totally confused. Yeah. They're like, what is this? Yeah. And that's the problem we have here. We got all this beautiful stuff that's starting to come to fruition. And I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I am just like, my queen and I have been watching this WandaVision, and they're short, like 41 minutes short. The cool thing is, if you guys haven't done it, here's an interesting thing. What I'm loving that Marvel did on their creative department for this show is they got your brain going. Okay, they've got you reeled in. They got you. Are they 25 million an episode? I don't know. I don't care. Okay, what I do care is they're giving us something that's entertaining, and they're giving something to the fans that know this character, and they're trying to pay good homage to her, which is awesome on MCU, Disney. That's good on them. I'm very happy to see that. What I'm hoping that they don't do, and this is what I call lazy writing, lazy special effects, is what they did to my Star Wars movie that I waited 41 years for the conclusion. You see where I'm going with it? You see where I'm going with it?
Force Awakens is awful. We all thought it. Now we're the three of us here saw it together, correct?
Yeah.
And we all thought it was awful right away. Some people didn't. Some people still liked Force Awakens, and we were fighting with them. And I remember having these fights. I'm like, but it's a remake of Episode 4, and then they kill Han Solo.
Here, tell me something, gentlemen. Okay, and this is probably going to piss people off if they see this or whatever. I don't care, but it's our personal opinion, you know. And if they don't like it, they don't have to see it, and they don't, they don't have to give hate. But it's our opinions. Okay, my age, I waited for so long for that movie to finish with a good bang, right? And here's what I mean by lazy special effects: giving Star Destroyers all planet killers. Really? Really?
Like, how did you develop all those?
Really? You know how much power that would literally have to take to destroy a planet? I mean,
that's
green, right?
Death Star. Now they can build like
green. At least they're solar powered.
And J.J. Abrams has a fetish for like spaceships underwater for some reason.
Oh yeah,
they're under ice and they have to come up on. From the ice.
What though? You know what was good that I thought was a good retro retake on when it came to science fiction. I like Star Wars. I do, and I love Star Trek. I thought he did a good job with the revamping of Star Trek in the movie. And that's all up for interpretation. I enjoyed it. It's like bringing a new generation in. I thought it was okay. Trust me, I love my next generation. I love my classic Trek. I love my favorite characters. Leonard Nimoy, the bomb.
Yeah, Leonard Nimoy.
I mean, come on, give me a break. I seen him 25 years ago at a Star Trek convention. We had a drink together and talked. I had like 4 autographs. That was my best memorable moment of stardom with somebody like that. But
that's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome.
Sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. It's wonderful meeting you guys. I think you guys are awesome. I think we're all on the same page.
I've seen other people. Andrew wants to come in. I'll let you come in, Andrew.
Hello. Hey, Jim.
Hey, how's it going? I've actually have to end this in about 5 minutes or so. We've been going.
I'll take the 5 minutes. That's okay. I'll take the 5 minutes.
So Andrew, you came in, and then we're just gonna kick you right out. So
that's okay. I'll take the 5 minutes.
What we were saying was, like, what I like about the Marvel universe is that they've been able to pinpoint the core of the character and present that, even though certain characters have gone through so many iterations over decades of comic books. Comic books come out monthly, and it's very difficult to not change things up. Like, after a few years, you're like, well, let's revamp this character. Let's do this. But the Marvel movies have seemed to do a good job of picking, the core Captain America. Like, what is Captain America at his core, at his center, at his heart? And let's present that to the audience. And I think they've done a good job of that with most of the characters, maybe not all of the characters. Hawkeye, I think, is one of my favorites. I want West Coast Avengers Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
That's my tattoo, and I love that character. I love West Coast Avengers. I've got the first appearance of Hawkeye in. It's in the case down here.
Nice.
It is the worst condition comic.
You got one. That doesn't matter. You're happy with it. As long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters, dude.
All right. So Andrew, since you just popped in, what are your thoughts on WandaVision, real quick?
Well, I enjoyed it. It's getting more interesting, and I didn't expect Evan Peters.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Did you notice the red glow around him, though?
What red glow?
The red glow behind him?
I didn't see any red glow.
Oh, look at it again.
Oh, and I gotta look at it again too.
I don't want them to pull out like it's saying he's not the Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men films.
No. That's not what I'm thinking. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm really hoping for Nightmare or Mephisto.
We were talking about that.
Yeah.
But dude, this show's supposed to start in the multiverse.
Nice. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, well, let's hope they do the multiverse.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Andrew, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, this show was supposed to be starting in the multiverse, and Spider-Man 3 is going to be bringing back all 3 Spider-Man. So
yeah.
And if Evan Peters is in the Fox X-Men Quicksilver, that's the biggest hope and rip it away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I think this was the first. This is the first of having someone literally appear from another universe, and it makes sense because Quicksilver of the regular MCU is dead.
Yeah.
So if
Eric
you have
Johnson.
Quicksilver, you can bring in Evan Peters, and I think a lot of people preferred the way that they showed the Evan Peters powers and the way he kind of was. I prefer the costume, of course. Of
If they're gonna do that, just do me one friggin' favor. I am so sick of Xavier. He's a fucking, sorry for my language, villain. He is a villain. He controls all my best characters, and that's ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing. They did say that I think at the end of this series we're gonna have a cameo that's on the level of Luke Skywalker from Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Who do you think that'll be?
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, Xavier. That's the only
Oh my God.
Michael Fassbender's Magneto.
But wouldn't this have been that? Wouldn't
No,
this?
is.
I thought this was what they were talking about.
Yeah.
This isn't it. This isn't
Nope.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have a few guesses.
What do you think, Andrew?
Okay, my few guesses are, since Evan Peters from the X-Men, he'll probably be one of the Fox X-Men actors, like maybe Patrick Stewart, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Ian McKellen, or Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Or since the show connecting Spider-Man 3, maybe show Toby.
No. Wow.
It would have to be
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, come on! It's got to be Deadpool.
He's a fourth wall breaker, so you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be crazy. Ryan Reynolds.
Funny.
He
You
can
got Deadpool going,
just like
wait,
kill everybody in
I'm in
there.
the wrong universe.
That would be hilarious.
Ian said like, oh wait, I'm in the wrong universe. Oh wait, Disney owns Fox now.
I know. Yeah.
So G-Man,
Yes, sir.
to the G-Man, before I'm going to have to end this in a bit, but I want to get your thoughts on this. So is the neighbor Agnes, is that Agatha Harkness? Is that?
Yeah.
Yes. The
Yes,
classic-
it is, right?
the
Okay.
old witch.
Her
Yes.
brooch gives
You have
it
to
away.
realize something too. You got to think about this too. In the books, the witch herself, the Agnes, she actually ran a town. She ran a town in the comic series, way back. So
Right,
it's
okay.
interesting. Okay, because that I know she has, she's got something to do with it. But who's doing all the pulling the strings outside of that is that guy from not Shield, Sword. The guy in the black suit that's running it all. That's supposed to
Oh,
be
yeah.
that guy is not who he says he is.
Oh, is he
That's-
Mephisto?
Okay.
That's
Or
where I
Nightmare?
got my feeling on that. Yeah, that is not the guy who says. And if you also pay attention too, if you're looking at all the little Easter eggs like the hexagons, you look at the hexagons on the video series. It's shaped as an X in the center. You look at his
Hey,
office.
truth. I was just on the stream.
you look on the back of his office wall. It's all shaped into an X. But
Ooh.
don't
Oh
know.
my gosh.
And
I picked apart this thing like I'm such a nerd. I watched it with subtitling. If you watch it with subtitling, you also will read through the
oh
lines.
yeah, that reminds me.
Oh my god.
Speaking of subtitles, I remember Disney Plus had their audio description for the blind, to let you say what it is.
Right?
When Evan Peters picks up, they say the version of Quicksilver from the X-Men film.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Really quick, my Queen G wanted me to show you guys something. She just got the entire collection. Now, my honey, she was so funny. I started a monster with my honey. Okay, so I'm not into pops. I have a couple pops. Most of my collection is comic books, but she's been getting into pops. My entire bedroom is full of pops now. And she goes into GameStop the other day, and she ran out of the store, jumping up and down. Oh, I finally got him! I finally got the last one. She wanted me to show you. This is my Queen G's collection. She wanted me to show you the WandaVision collection that came out, and these things are badass. This is a black.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's black and white.
Awesome.
Yep.
That one's black and white. And also Vision in the 50s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Cool.
then we have. She wanted me to show you this. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
I got that one too.
yeah, excellent.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Again,
Yeah,
I can't
I
wait to
ordered-
see that.
Yep.
So I ordered that one and they canceled my order on me. Amazon
What?
canceled my order. They said they couldn't get them in.
and then I got the Wanda 70s version.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
That's awesome. awesome.
Yeah, these are awesome. But we, her and she likes to collect couples and the obscure stuff, So it's like it's been fun. But you guys, man, this was fun. I'm usually on another show that my brothers are not doing it because of Super Bowl. I don't watch Super Bowl, so it's
Me neither.
This guy,
my
my geekiness release. I hope I can do it again with you guys sometime. This was a lot of fun. I love to do it.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna say is I think we're gonna try to do maybe next Friday after the next WandaVision. Steve and Sean, if you guys are free, around 6-ish Eastern time. If you guys want to log back, we'll come back on and do some more. And then if people can join, I like this idea of having people join. It's something that I've seen the Truth 31. He does that. And Echo Base Network, which is a Star Wars channel I always go on.
Nice.
They throw the link up and just have people come on. I thought, this is just a great idea because
I just got
you don't always want to see my stupid face. It's like get some other people in here.
Yep.
So this was really great. This is the first time I've done this too. I did one live stream a while ago and it was kind of whatever, but this one was really fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So okay, guys, thanks so much for coming on. I will. Sean and Steve and I should be back next Friday. If you guys want to pop in, that's cool. If not, that's cool too.
May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I do a show every Saturday at midnight. I do a late night show every midnight on Saturday. So if you guys, have nothing to do and you want to see, I usually like to do just like what you guys are doing here, but singly. I like to interview comic book geeks and guests.
Nice.
New people, doesn't matter. Older people, doesn't matter. Just, something to offer to the show. That's my Nerdy Collective show I do at midnight. I have 2 co-hosts on there, Monty and Jeff 813. We do that every Saturday at midnight. And dude, anytime. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, and we can link your. I'll throw a link down to your channel as well.
It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I've got. We could go on for another hour. You know that, boys.
Oh, I could talk forever. It's just that I literally have dinner waiting for me.
The queen is calling, right?
So she is calling, and when she calls, it's like the nerds disperse. It's all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you next time.
Right.
See you.
Take care.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.